Real Country 1430 AM and 107.3 FM WRD. And Brian Winnikins at World Dairy Expo. Thank you to our expo sponsors, including Wisconsin Soybean Marketing Board, Synergy Co-op, Wisconsin Farmers Union, Wisconsin Corn Growers Association, UtterTech, Osteoplastics, and Compeer Financial. I'm with Shelly Meyer from the Professional Dairy Producers of Wisconsin and talk about some of the things going on with PDPW today, along with the industry as well. And Shelly, thanks for joining us. I know for a lot of dairymen and women, it's been a tough summer.
This has been an incredibly tough summer. I mean, if you were in a place where you either got too much rain, but most of us didn't get enough rain, you have those dynamics going on. And then we opened up some of our pay stubs that were so far off of really what we need them to be as far as our cost of production. So recognizing where we are in the dairy sector is important, but then you step back and you have to every single day. We got cows to feed, we got milk to ship, and we got people that are counting on us, families that are employed on our farms. So it's focusing on what we can really control. I can't control the weather, but I can control some of the decisions I make and really hunkering down on what I can do better.
And, nothing you can't control is you get a note from the co-op saying, oh, by the way, we're passing on our increased costs to you. Thanks for playing.
It's, that's another one of those things that feels like a little bit of a insult to injury at a time like this when we're all dealing with inflation and some of those kind of things. So what can you do about it? I think we can focus on getting the most energy-corrected milk out of our cows, taking care of our cows, taking care of our people. And I think at the end of the day, it all comes down to also taking care of ourselves. We'll start to hear people talk about rural initiatives and rural health, and that is not an on-off switch. It doesn't go with the milk price. We have to be taking care of ourselves, both physically and mentally, our families. And those are things that add up, because without a healthy mind and body in all of this, everybody suffers. And when the dairy farmer and especially in Wisconsin, when we're not doing well, our rural communities suffer, and that impacts the schools. And at the end of the day, what we do is really, really important. We are food and manufacturing.
Talking with Shelly Meyer with Professional Dairy Producers of Wisconsin. Well, that's one of the goals of PDPW, is to educate and provide education. And you have a whole bunch of events coming up.
Well, first of all, we're fellow dairy farmers. So what we do to collectively is try to find resources that are timely, that we need right now, where we can, again, focus on the things that we can control and get the information that will help us be better at what we do. Coming up next week, we have our herdsperson conference. And there we're going to focus on, obviously, cow health, efficiency, hands-on cowside practices. We'll do that in the morning at 2 sites, first at Arlington, and then up the next day up at Marshfield. But both times in the afternoon, we go out to a dairy in the area. So we take the research that we hear from top researchers about fertility, honing in, managing body score, liver health, those kind of things that really add up on the cow side, plus cow side testing and how we can be better at that, and really taking ownership of a lot of this. And then we go out to a dairy and we talk to another fellow dairy farmer about what's working, what's not, how do they apply everything, how are they record keeping, how are they getting paid for their milk, how does it impact their cost of production, learning from one another. And it's the coolest way to fill up your cup and be able to take home ideas that are practical, regardless if you're the largest dairy farmer in the county or you're the most boutique specialized one in your area. You'll learn something from it.
Meanwhile, then later in October, another big event coming up.
One of the favorites, Calf Care Connection, and this is a program that is for all those folks that deal with that wet calf or that newborn baby that arrives on the farm from the time that calf hits the ground, and just even maybe it's a calf that has a difficult delivery, struggles a little bit with getting going, breathing, but the first things that we do within those first hours, and it won't be just the basics. This is for those really honed in folks that have been raising calves for a long time, their managers, as well as those that are just getting started. We'll do the same kind of format where we'll learn in the morning, and then we'll hop on a bus and we'll go see other calf operations, which I think is just the coolest thing, because I can learn something from absolutely everybody. We all have different challenges at different times, but who's more clever than someone who's hands-on working with these animals? And also, we want our veterinarians and our nutritionists to be learning with us, because they're part of our management teams on all of our farms. Those are two great programs that are practical. So wherever you're at, if you're working with the most majestic beast that's ever been created, that is the dairy cow. Herdsperson and calf care, 2 weeks back to back. Send your critical people that make it happen on your farms.
And folks can register right at the website, right?
Then go to the PDPW website. That's pdpw.org. You can register there. You can just pick up the phone any time of day, leave a message, call us. You get a human being when you call between 8 and 5 p.m. at 800, the 800 number, and we just want to make it easy. If all else fails, we know it's hard to plan on farms. We'd like to be able to plan for you, so we make sure that we always have enough of the resources, but you know what? We take walk-ins because we get it. We're all dairy farmers.
Talking with Shelly Meyer with PDPW. Another thing, Shelly, that PDPW is also working on to help farmers out is because everybody's getting the sustainability thing. Everybody's, climate smart commodities. Edge Dairy Cooperative is doing a big project and all. And those things are all great, but PDPW is wanting to provide some education to say now, before you jump in 2 feet, make sure this works for you, not only on your farm operationally, but financially.
That's right. And at the end of the day, the biggest thing about sustainability that I want fellow dairy farmers to know is you've got this. Nobody needs to teach you how to be sustainable. If you've been in this business, most of us are multiple generation, you'll figure it out. We are sustainable. We're doing a lot of great things already. It's just being able to account for that. But number one thing about being sustainable is you need to be able to be profitable. You need to be able to take money and put it back into your operations and maintain, and you got to be able to grow your business and feed your family. And it's a tightrope act. Man, there's not much for margin there. So really knowing your numbers, and we have a curriculum. It's called our Financial Literacy for Dairy Farmers. It's the only curriculum out in the industry that is every application and every example is around your dairy. You go, if you're interested in this, contact PDPW, but what happens that's really cool is so that you get in the right level of programming to start that meets your needs is you take a quick web-based test, and that tells you, yep, you test, congratulations, you test into level 1, or nope, you've been doing this for a really long time, you test into level 2, and that's where you start learning. And all we want to do is improve your understanding, your applicable skills, so you can really hone in and manage these tight numbers. Because again, back to what we started talking about, these are dynamic and tough times, and there's certain things that are out of our control. There's a lot of those things when you're managing a business you can still control, and one of them is know your numbers.
Find out more at pdpw.org. From World Dairy Expo, I'm Brian Winnikins.